night was torn apart by a relentless storm, a symphony of thunder and rain that pounded against the windows of Lucy Martinez's small bedroom. The sky flickered with flashes of lightning, illuminating her tear-stained face as she clutched her pillow tightly, seeking solace. Each clap of thunder felt like a heartbeat, reverberating through the air and mirroring the turmoil within her chest. Nearby, the wind screamed through the eaves, and the melodies of the storm drowned out the comforting whispers of what once was. "Please, Bella," Lucy whispered, her voice a soft coo against the chaos surrounding her, but the words fell into the air, unheard. Her heart ached as she pictured her kitten, who had always curled up next to her during dark nights, providing warmth and companionship. Now the space beside her was empty, a stark reminder of the absence that weighed heavily on her small frame. With her eyes closed, Lucy breathed in the familiar scents of her room, a blend of sweet vanilla from the candle she lit earlier, and the faint aroma of the stuffed animals that lined her shelves. The drawings she had created of herself and Bella, frolicking together, felt like artifacts of a different life, filled with laughter and sunshine. But now they were mere specters of joy, overshadowed by the deep sorrow of loss. "I miss you so much," she confessed, tears spilling down her cheeks and soaking into the fabric of the pillow beneath her. Memories danced behind her eyelids, a montage of sunlit afternoons in the park where butterflies flitted through the air, and Bella, with her inquisitive nature, would chase after them with unbridled enthusiasm. Each joyful sound from those days felt impossibly far, a melody that had faded into silence. Suddenly, another clap of thunder echoed through the night, causing her to jump. The window rattled, and a chill ran down her spine, drawing her back to the present, to the harsh reality of the missing piece in her life. If only Bella would come back, she thought. If only the universe would hear her cries and bring her friend home. As the rain cascaded down, painting the world outside in shades of grey, Lucy wrestled with her fears. Why had Bella disappeared? The thought of never seeing her again sent another wave of sobs through her small body. Each tear felt like a petal falling from a wilting flower, marking the sorrow blooming inside her. "Please, just come home," she whispered into the storm, a final plea to the universe. Yet, the only response was the rhythmic thrum of the rain, a cruel reminder that no one was there to answer her call. The clock on the wall ticked softly, marking the passage of time, but to Lucy, it felt stagnant in her despair. She glanced at the drawings around her, the vibrant colors now dimming under the weight of her sorrow. They told stories of a bond forged in love and trust, and as she caught sight of the picture she had drawn of Bella nestled in her arms, darkness cast a shadow over the joyful scene. The room felt like a sanctuary of solitude, a cocoon that only heightened her sense of isolation. As her own world was engulfed by the storm outside, Lucy settled into the depths of her sorrow, a detached witness to her own heartbreak. The gentle sound of rain turned into a lullaby, rocking her toward a restless sleep, a sleep filled with dreams of lost kittens and wishes whispered to the stars. In the void of the stormy night, Lucy clung to a fragile thread of hope, praying that one day the sun would shine again. With the dawn creeping into Lucy's room the next morning, the storm's fury receded, leaving behind a world washed in glistening dew. Soft sunlight peeked through the curtains, illuminating the once vibrant colors of her drawings, now dull and shadowed by her sorrow. Lucy stirred from her restless sleep, the remnants of tears still clinging to her cheeks. The room was quiet, but as she lay there, a flicker of light caught her eye. It danced across the floor, bringing with it a whisper of hope. Lucy pushed herself up and peered out of the window. The garden outside, where she used to play with Bella, was glistening with droplets of water, illuminating the petals of blooming flowers. The world felt fresh and clean, but in her heart, shadows still lingered. She felt a pang of longing as she remembered her kitten, imagining Bella frolicking in the grass, chasing the elusive sunbeams that sparkled like diamonds. "Let's go, Bella," Lucy would exclaim, running through the garden, her laughter mingling with the soft buzz of bees and the sweet songs of birds. Those days were filled with warmth, each moment a biting contrast to the chill of the current morning, her heart now a vast desolate landscape. "Lucy, breakfast," Maria called from the kitchen, her voice a steady, grounding force. Lucy slipped from her bed, brushing her hair out of her tired eyes as she ventured into the small yet nurturing space they called home. The kitchen was filled with the smell of pancakes and maple syrup, which wafted through the air like a warm embrace. Maria stood at the stove, her brow furrowed in concentration as she flipped pancakes with deft hands, evidence of the long nights spent working to keep their household running on a single income. "Morning, sweetheart," Maria said, turning to Lucy with a smile that was both tired and tender. But as she saw the sadness etched on Lucy's face, her own smile faltered. "Did you sleep okay?" "It stormed last night," Lucy replied, her voice barely above a whisper as she took a seat at the table. She thought about how the sound of the rain hadn't been too frightening, just sad, like the soft whispers of memories she wished would come back to her. "I know," Maria said gently, placing a plate of pancakes in front of Lucy. "But it's a new day now. The sun is shining, and we can make the most of it." Lucy forced a smile, but the weight of her heart didn't lift. "Can we go to the park today, just like we used to?" "Of course, honey, we can go see the flowers. Maybe you'll spot Bella if we look hard enough," Maria suggested, her tone filled with encouragement, but something unspoken hung in the air. Lucy enthusiastically nodded, but as her mother turned away, her face fell into a shadow of worry. She could see it in Maria's tired eyes, the concern that lay beneath the surface, the fear that their family was running on empty. After breakfast, and the kitchen was cleaned up, Lucy rushed to grab a small pink backpack from her room. She filled it with her favorite drawing supplies. Her heart swelled with the thought of creating new memories at the park. It was there that she had always found joy, surrounded by emerald green trees, the laughter of children at play, and the gentle rustle of leaves whispering secrets. As they walked, Lucy's imagination spun stories of Bella's adventures, believing wholeheartedly in her kitten's return. Upon reaching the park, Lucy inhaled the fresh air scented with blooming flowers, and the familiar sights and sounds of her favorite place enveloped her like a warm embrace. She dashed toward the grassy knoll where they often played, her heart racing with hope. There, to her surprise, was Mr. Thompson, the older neighbor with a gentle demeanor and twinkling eyes. He was tending to his garden, carefully nurturing the flowers that grew in vibrant colors, so reminiscent of Lucy's drawings. "Good morning, Lucy," Mr. Thompson called out, waving his hand speckled with soil. "How are you today?" "Hi, Mr. Thompson," Lucy replied, her spirits lifting. "I came to look for Bella. Have you seen her?" His expression softened and he knelt to her level, his voice soothing and kind. "Not yet, but you know, sometimes our furry friends wander off for a little adventure, but they always find their way back home if we keep believing." Lucy felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. "Do you really think she might come back?" "The heart knows things that sometimes we can't see," he replied, sharing one of his beloved anecdotes about pets returning after long journeys. "I once had a dog that went missing for weeks. The day he returned was like Christmas. We hugged like old friends." As Mr. Thompson spoke, Lucy listened intently, envisioning her reunion with Bella, her heart swirling with anticipation and longing. "Why don't you draw something in your sketchbook while I finish up here?" Mr. Thompson encouraged. "You can share your art with me, and we'll keep looking together for Bella." Grabbing her sketchbook, Lucy settled on the grass, her fingers flowing over the pages as she captured vibrant pictures of the park, infusing them with her dreams. As she drew, the worries began to fade, eclipsed by the thrill of creation and the kindness of those around her who understood. Today, under the warm sun, with hope blossoming like flowers in spring, Lucy felt the weight on her shoulders lighten just a little, igniting a small flame of resilience. Maybe, just maybe, love could mend the threads of her heart, and the whispers of her dreams would guide her back to Bella. Days turned into weeks, and Lucy's determination to find Bella began to fade. At school, the laughter of her classmates felt distant, muffled by the great wall of sorrow she had built around her. All around her, discussions buzzed with tales of pets and adventures, leaving her alone, her heart heavy in her chest. She sat at lunch, her sketchbook open but untouched, as her friends drifted away. They were kind, but could not grasp the depth of her pain. "Hey, Lucy, are you coming to the playground?" Lily asked one afternoon, her voice bright, breaking through the cacophony of chatter. "Not today," Lucy replied, offering a soft smile, one that didn't quite reach her eyes. She turned back to her drawings, hoping the crisp white paper would comfort her in her loneliness. With each passing day, the longing for Bella intensified. Recess turned into a solitary walk, where Lucy often found herself perched on the swings, her feet dragging in the gravel. Around her, children spun and tumbled, immunity to her heartache. "Are you all right?" A voice broke through her thoughts. It was Mr. Thompson, squatting beside her with a gentle expression. "Just thinking," Lucy murmured, struggling to find the words to articulate the weight she carried. "This makes you sad, huh?" he asked, his voice warm with understanding. "I miss Bella. Everyone says I should get over it, but I can't. I feel lost," Lucy confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Thompson nodded, his gaze steady and compassionate. "It's all right to feel that way, Lucy. Love doesn't vanish just because someone is gone. It changes shape, into memories, stories, and sometimes even new friends." She pondered his words, letting them swirl around her mind. "But it feels like no one understands," she admitted. "Sometimes people don't know how to share in our sadness, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't feel it," he reassured her. "What if we went door to door? Maybe Bella wandered into someone's yard. It's worth a shot." With a spark of hope igniting within her, Lucy agreed. Together, they set off through her neighborhood, every door a new possibility. Mr. Thompson filled the quiet moments with stories of his own pets, including Rascal, the dog who had once gone missing for weeks. "It was like Christmas when he returned, running to me as if he'd never left." "Never lose hope, Lucy," he said, his words a soothing balm. As they knocked on doors and spread Bella's story, Lucy's heart soared with the thrill of connection. Yet each unanswered door brought a cyclical wave of disappointment, until, as they approached her own house, they heard a faint meow from the bushes. Lucy froze. "Did you hear that?" she asked, her heart racing. They crept closer, and Lucy pushed aside the branches, revealing a small orange tabby with bright, curious eyes. Not Bella, but still. A flicker ignited in her heart. "Oh, you're not Bella," she murmured, disappointment creeping in. The tabby tilted its head and meowed again, a soft sound that tugged at her heartstrings. "Look at how friendly it is. Maybe this kitty could use a friend too," Mr. Thompson said with a smile. Lucy picked up the small tabby, the warmth of its purring resonating against her chest. "Can I take her home?" she asked, her hope rekindled even just a little. "Of course. Just because you don't have Bella right now doesn't mean you can't share love with another," he replied, his voice like a lifeline. As they walked home together, Tabby cradled in her arms, Lucy felt an unexpected warmth flooding her heart. This little creature was not a replacement, but a reminder that love could exist in many forms. The shadows of her loneliness began to lift slightly, as if the sun breaking through clouds after a long, dismal storm. And though the deep ache for Bella remained, she realized that sometimes bridges of connection could start anew, and perhaps there was still room in her heart for more than just sorrow. With a companion by her side and a friend in Mr. Thompson, Lucy knew she was not alone. Her journey was far from over, but with each step she took, she understood that both sorrow and joy could coexist, intertwining like colors on a canvas, creating a richer tapestry of life. Hope blossomed within her, reminding her that sometimes love found its way home, even when things seemed hopeless. The days following Lucy's discovery of the small tabby were filled with a gentle blend of joy and tender remembrance. She named her new companion Pumpkin, for the warm hues of orange and the playful spirit that mirrored her own. With Pumpkin at her side, the silence of Lucy's home was momentarily brightened. There were new purrs, playful antics, and the soft padding of paws across wooden floors. After school, Lucy would rush home, eager to share the little details of her day with Pumpkin, chattering on about friends and lessons, her voice lifting like the sun breaking through the clouds. Pumpkin would listen patiently, her eyes wide and curious, as Lucy poured her heart out, creating a new world filled with companionship that both soothed her and opened her heart anew. One afternoon, as Lucy sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor, sketching with colored pencils, she felt a flicker of inspiration. Delicately, she began to draw a picture of both Bella and Pumpkin together in a sunny meadow, a place where both could frolic freely. Her pencil danced across the page, each stroke filled with a reminder that love could transcend loss. "See, Pumpkin, this is Bella, and you." She smiled, her face illuminated by the warmth of creativity. "Look how happy they are." As weeks passed, Lucy and Pumpkin formed an inseparable bond. She discovered how to care for her new friend, filling dishes with food, crafting little toys from yarn, and creating cozy corners in her room where Pumpkin could curl up comfortably. But along with the newfound joy, there remained a whisper of longing for Bella, an echo of grief that lay gently beneath the surface. "I miss my Bella," Lucy would sometimes say, her heart heavy with the weight of unfulfilled memories. One night, as Pumpkin curled in her lap, Lucy looked out her window at the stars sprinkled across the night sky. "I hope Bella is okay, wherever she is. I'll always love her," she whispered, her fingers gently caressing Pumpkin as if sharing warmth between the two worlds of her heart. One rainy afternoon, when the weather mirrored her reflections, Lucy made a decision. She wanted to honor Bella's memory, to celebrate their bond without letting it chain her to sorrow. With newfound purpose, she reached for her art supplies and began to craft a small memorial in the garden where they used to play. With care, she arranged stones in a circle, gathering wildflowers from the yard and weaving them into a delicate wreath. It felt good to express her love freely, to create something beautiful in response to her grief. It was as if, in doing this, she could keep Bella with her always. On the day she planned to unveil her little garden tribute, Lucy invited Mr. Thompson to join her. He arrived with his kind smile and a bouquet of wildflowers, his own way of honoring her loss. Together they carefully placed the flowers around the stones. "It's beautiful, Lucy," he said, his voice low and reverent. "Bella will always be a part of you, just like these flowers are part of this garden." As they stood together, the sun breaking through after the rain, Lucy felt a sense of release. The ache didn't vanish, but rather transformed into a gentle song that played softly within her. It was a melody made of memories, laughter, and love that continued to resonate even in Bella's absence. "Thank you for helping me," Lucy said, her voice steadier now. "I didn't know how to say goodbye. This feels right." Mr. Thompson nodded, a knowing look in his eyes. "And now you have made space for both love and new beginnings. Remember, Lucy, sometimes the hardest moments can guide us toward the most beautiful transformations." Stepping back from the garden, Lucy looked at her creation, a patchwork of beauty and sorrow united. She felt lighter, as if the heavy chains of grief had been gently loosened. In her heart, she could finally feel room for Pumpkin, Bella, and the stories yet to come. As the seasons shifted and the garden bloomed, so did Lucy's spirit. She found herself laughing more, sharing little moments with friends, and even inviting them to join in drawing and storytelling in the garden. The community that surrounded her began to embrace her once again, as they saw her allowing herself the joy of living side by side with her memories. One afternoon, as sunlight streamed through the trees, Lucy organized a small art gathering in her backyard. Friends came together with blankets and snacks, sharing laughter while collaborating on a mural that represented love, loss, and rebirth. "Let's make it bright, just like Lucy's garden," Lily exclaimed, splashing vibrant colors onto the canvas. Lucy grinned, glancing at Pumpkin, who chased a fluttering butterfly nearby. In that moment, she felt a deeper understanding blossom within her. Life was not only about holding on to what was lost, but also about creating space for new love and joy. With every brushstroke, Lucy painted her story, her past mingling gracefully with her present. The mural emerged into a vibrant mosaic, an expression of embracing both her pain and her healing. Later that evening, as the sun dipped low, casting a golden light across the garden, Lucy stood surrounded by her friends, their laughter filling the air. She felt a connection to Bella and Pumpkin, as if they danced harmoniously around her, affirming love exists in every form and moment. As she gazed at the mural reflecting the shifting colors of hope, lucidity illuminated her heart. Love, with all its complexities, was indeed a journey, one she was grateful to travel, nourished by both the past and the promise of all that lay ahead. With an open heart, Lucy stepped confidently into tomorrow, knowing that joy, laughter, and the memory of love would walk beside her, ever intertwined with the vibrant tapestry of her life. With each passing day, as the seasons unfurled across the sky, Lucy's heart danced in harmony with the rhythms of life surrounding her. The mural became a testament to her journey, a physical embodiment of both her pain and her healing process. It was no longer just a canvas. It had transformed into a vibrant map, illustrating moments of sorrow alongside bursts of joy. Friends and neighbors often visited to admire the mural, adding their own touches, whispers of love flowing through every brushstroke. One crisp autumn afternoon, as leaves painted the ground in hues of amber and gold, Lucy noticed a familiar figure approaching her home. It was Mr. Thompson, his hands tucked into the pockets of his flannel jacket, his ever-present smile carving lines of kindness on his weathered face. "Good afternoon, Lucy," he called, waving as he walked up the stone path. "I've been meaning to come and see your work." "Hi, Mr. Thompson, come look," Lucy said, her heart swelling with pride. She led him to the mural, where colors splashed across the canvas like stories darting in and out of sunlight. "It's beautiful," he remarked, studying it with genuine admiration. "You've really captured a journey here." "Thank you. It's like each color tells a story, doesn't it?" she said, her voice bright and enthusiastic. "And it reminds me that love can be complicated but beautiful." Mr. Thompson nodded thoughtfully. "It is. You know, I used to think that grief was something you had to carry alone, but I've learned that sharing it lightens the load." Lucy listened intently. "I think I understand now. Like with Bella and Pumpkin. They're each a part of me, but they don't take away from each other. They just exist together." "That's exactly it," he replied, his eyes sparkling. "You're maturing wonderfully, Lucy. You've learned compassion and resilience at such a young age." His kind words wrapped around her like a warm blanket, and she felt a wave of gratitude surge through her. Days turned into weeks, and the vibrant colors of the mural stood tall against the backdrop of Lucy's resilient spirit. However, not all moments were painted in bold strokes of happiness. There were days when clouds loomed overhead, threatening to overshadow her newfound light. One such day arrived unexpectedly, bringing with it whispers of uncertainty. It started when Lucy overheard her friends discussing an upcoming pet adoption event at the local shelter. "I can't wait to find another dog," one exclaimed. "I just want to give a puppy a forever home. That's how it should be done." Lucy froze, her heart tightening in her chest. For a heartbeat, she felt a sharp pang of jealousy and sadness creep in, entwined with resentment about moving on too quickly from Bella's memory. "They don't understand," she thought bitterly, her mind racing. As the days ticked closer to the event, those feelings festered, clouding her spirit. Even Pumpkin, with her lively antics, couldn't pull Lucy from her swirling thoughts of inadequacy, of being left behind in her grief. One afternoon, while lying on her bed with Pumpkin curled softly beside her, Lucy felt a strange yearning bubbling up, a longing to speak with Bella one last time. "What would you have wanted me to do, Bella?" she whispered, her voice thick with emotion, tears pooling in her eyes. In that moment, she closed her eyes and surrendered to the memories. She recalled warm afternoons spent playing together, the joyful chaos of Bella leaping through the grass, and the way her fur glimmered in the sunlight. With each recollection, the pain began to dissolve gradually. Lucy opened her eyes, clarity dawning. It was time to embrace both sides of love, the fear of losing and the joy of having. She needed to honor Bella's memory, not by clinging desperately to what was lost, but by weaving her spirit into her new life. It was a revelation that felt daunting yet liberating. Determined, she decided she would attend the adoption event, not just out of a sense of obligation, but to open her heart further. "If Bella were here, she'd want me to be happy and to share love," she thought as the sun began to set, painting the room in warm golden light. The day of the shelter event arrived. Lucy felt a whirlwind of emotions as she walked into the barn where the adoption day was being held. Pet crates lined the space, each filled with hopeful animals eagerly awaiting their forever homes. Holding Pumpkin close, Lucy navigated through the excited crowd, where laughter mingled with barks and meows. Her heart wavered, both hopeful and heavy. Would she be able to open her heart again? Just then, a small, timid beagle caught her eye. The puppy was nestled in a corner, its eyes wide with uncertainty, mirroring Lucy's own apprehension. Slowly, she knelt down before the cage, her heart pounding. "Hey there, little one," she said softly, reaching through the bars. For a moment, there was only silence between them, until the puppy moved closer, giving her a cautious nuzzle, and a tiny tail began to wag. Lucy smiled, tears pooling in her eyes not from sorrow, but rather from the blossoming realization of shared affection. Mr. Thompson appeared beside her, kneeling down to meet the puppy. "It seems you found quite a connection, Lucy," he said gently. "I think I have," she whispered. "I feel like Bella wants me to do this, to be brave." With a newfound strength, she decided then and there to adopt the little beagle. The puppy, named Daisy, brought warmth to Lucy's heart in ways she hadn't anticipated. As they filled out the adoption papers, Lucy felt the threads of her past intertwining with new beginnings. Each moment she held, Daisy would not erase Bella's memory, but rather expand her capacity for love. That evening, As Daisy explored her new home, Lucy settled on the floor, watching as Pumpkin and Daisy began to interact, their spirits connected in joy. She recognized the beauty of this new chapter and the profound growth within herself, a revelation born from love, loss, and resilience. "Welcome home, Daisy," she whispered, tears of happiness streaming down her cheeks. "We already have so much to share." The love in Lucy's heart blossomed anew, a tapestry woven from the colorful threads of her past and the vibrant hues of her present. Together, with Daisy and Pumpkin prancing through the garden, Lucy stepped into a future ripe with possibilities, hopeful that all forms of love would continue to guide her journey forward. Weeks passed since Daisy had joined Lucy's family, and the bond between the three of them grew stronger every day. Lucy found herself laughing more, allowing the warmth of each new day to seep into her soul. However, as the days turned to weeks, she also noticed whispers of discontent lurking beneath her joy. Snapshots of Bella would flash in her mind, crashing against the waves of her laughter, reminding her of the complexity of love and the sometimes fragile nature of her newfound happiness. One particularly crisp morning, Lucy was out in the garden with Pumpkin and Daisy, enjoying the blooming flowers that framed their makeshift mural. Sun-kissed and breezy, the atmosphere should have felt content, but a heaviness lingered in her heart, born from an unresolvable tension she had been grappling with since adopting Daisy. Her friends, though happy for her, often asked about the bond she shared with the pups, as though expecting her to forget her past and fully embrace the new. Determined to push these feelings aside, Lucy focused on the joy of being with her beloved pets, but the questions from her friends hung in the air, serving as constant reminders of Bella's absence. "Isn't Daisy just the best?" Lily had said one day. "I can't believe you actually adopted her. It's like you two were meant to be." The thoughts nagged at her, growing heavier over time, igniting a storm within. Would she ever be able to love again without the shadow of guilt creeping in? Was it possible to hold the memory of Bella close, while also embracing Daisy's bouncy joy? As if the universe sensed her unrest, it conspired to force Lucy into an unavoidable confrontation with these feelings. On a Saturday morning, just as she was about to take Daisy and Pumpkin for a walk, her friends planned a get-together at the park, inviting families over for an afternoon picnic. Even though Lucy felt a pang of resistance, she forced herself to go. "It'll be fine," she assured herself. "Just take it one step at a time." The park was alive with laughter, children running freely, and the sun beaming down with gifts of warmth. Though surrounded by joy, Lucy felt a tightening knot in her chest as she caught sight of her friends gathered by a picnic blanket, their cheerful faces a stark contrast to her swirling emotions. "Lucy, over here," Lily waved enthusiastically, her arm waving vigorously. With a deep breath, Lucy made her way toward them, Daisy pulling impatiently on her leash, eager to mingle. But as she settled onto the blanket, the light-hearted atmosphere reminded her of her internal struggle. She tried to engage in conversation, to maintain the facade of normalcy, but the moment someone asked about Bella, her heart sank deeper. "Have you thought about getting another dog after Bella?" a classmate casually inquired, though their intentions were light-hearted. Before she could even muster a response, a wave of emotion crashed over her. "I did adopt Daisy," she said, a quiver threading through her voice. "But it's different, you know. Bella was—" She faltered, unsure of how to articulate the churning feelings inside her. "Right," the classmate nodded, somewhat dismissively. "But Daisy's awesome. You should just forget about Bella and move on." Their comment echoed through the air like a sharp blade, cutting through Lucy's attempts to share her feelings. The air around her thickened. Unbeknownst to the speaker, they had hit a raw nerve, a tender spot Lucy had been struggling to navigate. Uncertainty bubbled up, battling the fresh joy that Daisy had brought into her life. "No," Lucy blurted out before she could rein in her emotions. "I can't just forget about Bella. She was a part of my life, an important part. It's not that easy." The words spilled forth, raw with a mix of sadness and defiance. Her outburst silenced the group, and a few exchanged awkward glances. Regret washed over her, but Lucy could no longer suppress the swell of feelings that had been building. "You don't understand. Love doesn't just vanish. You can love someone who's gone while also welcoming new love. They coexist." As she spoke her truth, Daisy, sensing Lucy's distress, nuzzled her against Lucy's leg, as if offering unwavering support. In that moment, Daisy anchored Lucy's fragmented emotions, reminding her of the love they shared. "I'm sorry, Lucy," Lily softened, reaching over to take her hand. "I didn't mean to upset you." Lucy's gaze shifted around the circle, feeling a mixture of embarrassment and vulnerability. "It's just, I loved Bella deeply, but I also love Daisy. They both have their own places in my heart. It's not wrong to miss Bella while enjoying the present with Daisy." The group nodded, their expressions shifting toward understanding. "We didn't mean to dismiss your feelings," another friend chimed in. "We're just really happy you found joy with Daisy and that you adopted her." As the sunlight filtered through the leaves, warming their faces, Lucy could feel the burden in her heart begin to lift slightly. The confrontation had released a torrent of emotions. She had claimed her feelings, recognizing the complex dance of love and loss as something beautiful that could coexist. In the following moments, her friends surrounded her, weaving words of support and understanding, and sharing their own experiences of love and loss. Stories flowed freely, each revealing the truths they'd all held quietly in their hearts. Feeling lighter, Lucy looked down at Daisy, who was now playing with a stick. "Thank you," she whispered to her new companion, who brought warmth into her life just when she thought she would never embrace joy again. As the picnic continued with laughter echoed in the air, Lucy understood a vital lesson very clearly. It was okay to feel, to share, and to own her journey. Meeting her discomfort head-on had strengthened not just her bond with her friends, but also her understanding of don't let go of love. With Daisy by her side and new clarity in her heart, Lucy smiled into the horizon. She embraced her past while stepping boldly into her future, knowing that love's richness could encompass all the shades of her experiences. It was a dance of remembrance and renewal that would guide her through life's journey. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, casting long shadows across the park, Lucy felt a profound sense of peace wash over her. The air was rich with laughter, and the sense of summer wrapped around her like a warm embrace. Daisy trotted happily by her side, embodying the joy that had begun to blossom in the wake of her adoption. With friends nearby, she finally felt free, deeply aware of the journey she had traversed through both grief and renewal. After the picnic wound down, Lucy returned home feeling pleasantly exhausted but content. "Let's check on the mural," she said to Daisy and Pumpkin, who both perked up at the mention of their garden. In the moonlight, the mural stood proud and glowing, every color vibrant and alive under the twinkling stars. Lucy traced her fingers over its textured surface, feeling the heartbeat of her own story in the strokes of paint. Each detail was a reminder of her complex emotional journey, a reminder that beauty could emerge from the intertwining of joy and sorrow. "Bella, I hope you're proud of me," Lucy whispered into the stillness of the night. Tears brimmed in her eyes, and a sense of warmth enveloped her as she felt Bella's spirit shimmering among the stars above. Just then, Daisy nuzzled against Lucy's leg, grounding her back in the present moment, a reminder that love in all its forms was still alive and flourishing. In the following days, Lucy fully embraced her role as a pet owner and her connection with Daisy. She found joy in every small detail, from planting new flowers in the garden to teaching Daisy delightful tricks, each moment deepening their bond. Her friends' stories shared during the picnic echoed in her mind, teaching her that connection could flourish through honesty and vulnerability. As autumn approached, Lucy felt inspired to strengthen that sense of community further. She decided to organize an art showcase in her neighborhood, inviting friends and neighbors to celebrate creativity and connection. The mural would serve as the centerpiece, a testament not just to her journey, but to the collective stories of love and resilience everyone could contribute. "Let's make this a celebration for everyone," she said to her friends one evening. "Each of us has a story. Let's bring them together. Let's showcase our art and celebrate our experiences." On the day of the showcase, Lucy was filled with excitement as laughter rang through the park. Families arrived, each bearing food, art, and creative energy, transforming the garden into a vibrant festival of color. Children painted pumpkins, couples shared their culinary delights, and a sense of unity enveloped the air, palpable and nourishing. As Lucy wandered through the festival, marveling at the various talent on display, she felt a sense of belonging wash over her. Each piece of art carried its own story, and as she spoke with the creators, she realized they shared the bittersweet complexities of life. At one point, Lucy noticed Mr. Thompson standing near the mural, observing it with pride. She approached him, heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you for encouraging me to embrace my story," she said, her voice steady. He smiled warmly. "You've grown tremendously, Lucy. You've honored your past while weaving a beautiful future. It's a rare gift to find beauty in life's complexities, and you're a testament to that." As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in warm hues, Lucy's heart was filled with a deep understanding. Her journey would continue, not as a solitary wanderer, but as a beacon of love and resilience, carrying Bella's memory alongside the vibrant spirit of Daisy. With Daisy and Pumpkin by her side, Lucy stood before the mural, the tales of her past blending beautifully with the hopes of the present. She had embraced every emotion, ready to welcome life's next chapters filled with love, laughter, and connection. In that moment of clarity, she felt a surge of hope overcoming her. Every ending leads to new beginnings. With all the hues of love shining now in her heart, Lucy knew she would never walk alone. Love would be her steadfast companion as she continued painting the vibrant canvas of her life.